Skill you need to master as a product owner, part 3, stakeholder management. Why does this matter? So the first step is really to identify your stakeholders. And stakeholders can be, I usually think about in 4 categories of stakeholders: users, influencers, providers, and governance. Users obviously are the users of the product. Now, influencers are people with power. There could be powerful users, could be other people in the organization, and they can change the direction of the product. Providers are dependency. They can either be internal, that you're depending on a specific department, or they could also be external to your organization. If they will not deliver, you will have a problem. Now, governance can be internal and external. Now, internal governance could be maybe you need to provide specific numbers once a month, maybe you have a PMO. External governance, on the other hand, is often regulations and laws you have to follow in the domain in which you are working. And I like to really put at least one name behind each stakeholder you have identified, because you really need to manage them directly. And then you can also think about, how am I going to interact with those stakeholders? Because that depends on the type, the personality they are having. You will most likely engage differently with a user than a governance person. And again, the personality of each of those persons plays a big role. Active stakeholder management is a crucial part of proper product ownership. Now, what happens if you don't master it? If your stakeholders are unhappy, that is very bad news. Governance stakeholders could potentially stop your product. Providers which are not delivering will halt your product and your whole total development effort. Influencers which are not on your side might push the product in the wrong direction. Unhappy users, I guess that's, what this means. This is really bad news. Now, what is a great example of this action? Now, on my product goal canvas, which I've created, there's a specific section for the stakeholders with those 4 categories. For each product goal, we have to make sure we have the right stakeholders identified, and then list them by name, not just by job title, because you really need to know and identify the person with whom are we interacting. And I actually like to put them on a 2x2 matrix, where we map them with the interest they have in the product and the influence they're having. Now, people, stakeholders with high influence and high interest are really these types of stakeholders we need to keep really, really close.